Welcome to Zoe Stories. My sister forced me to be her bridesmaid. I never thought my life would come to this. Standing in front of my sister's full-length mirror, wearing a pale pink satin dress that clung to my body in ways I never imagined. The reflection staring back at me was both foreign and strangely familiar. I looked beautiful, and that terrified me more than anything. My name is Jake, and until a few weeks ago, I was just a regular guy. At least, that's what I kept telling myself. I had a steady, if unremarkable, job in IT security, the kind that kept me glued to a screen, sifting through lines of code for vulnerabilities. It wasn't glamorous, but it paid the bills and allowed me to live comfortably in my small apartment. More importantly, it gave me the solitude I needed to keep my biggest secret hidden. Because late at night, when the world was asleep and the blue glow of my monitors had dimmed, I indulged in something I could never admit to anyone. Not my coworkers, not my friends, and definitely not my girlfriend, Emma. I loved the feeling of silk against my skin, the delicate weight of a skirt brushing against my legs, the soft click of heels on my apartment floor. I had been crossdressing in secret for years, ever since I was a teenager and first dared to try on my sister Lily's clothes while she was out. At first, it had been nothing more than an experiment, a fleeting moment of curiosity. But as time passed, it became something more, a hidden part of me that I both feared and craved. Lily and I had always been close, despite our differences. She was outgoing and confident, the kind of person who commanded attention wherever she went. I, on the other hand, had always been more reserved, preferring the quiet corners of life. When she got engaged to her fiancé, Ryan, I was happy for her. She deserved the fairy tale wedding she'd always dreamed of. But I never expected that her wedding would become the stage for my deepest secret to unravel. The real complication, however, wasn't Lily. It was Emma. Emma and I had been dating for 2 years, and things were complicated. She was beautiful, smart, and funny, and I cared about her deeply. But she had strong opinions about what it meant to be a man. To her, masculinity was about confidence, strength, and dependability. She often teased me for being too soft, not in a cruel way, but in that playful, offhand manner that made my stomach twist. If she ever found out about my secret, I knew exactly how it would go. She would laugh at first, thinking it was a joke. Then, as realization set in, she would recoil, her expression shifting from amusement to disgust. I could already hear her words. "This isn't normal, Jake. What's wrong with you?" And so, I kept my secret buried, convinced that it was better this way. That was until Lily made a request that changed everything. It started a week ago, when she called me out of the blue. "Jake, I need a favor." There was something in her voice, a mischievous lilt that put me on edge. "Okay, what kind of favor?" She hesitated for only a moment before saying, "I need you to be my bridesmaid." I nearly dropped my phone. "What?" "Before you freak out, hear me out," she said quickly. "One of my bridesmaids just backed out, and the wedding is in a month. I don't have time to find someone else, and we already paid for the dress. You and I are the same height, the same build. It'll fit you perfectly. You can't be serious." "Oh, I am dead serious." I scoffed. "Lily, I'm your brother. And you'd be doing me a huge favor. It's not like anyone would recognize you under the makeup and wig." My heart pounded. I should have said no. I should have laughed it off and told her to find someone else. But something inside me, something reckless, something I didn't want to acknowledge, made me hesitate. She sensed it. "Jake, please," she said, her tone softening. "You know I wouldn't ask if I had another choice. Just try it on. If you hate it, we'll figure something else out." I swallowed hard. Try it on. The words lingered in my mind like a forbidden temptation. Against my better judgment, I agreed. And now, here I was, standing in Lily's bedroom, staring at my reflection in disbelief. The dress fit like it was made for me. The soft satin clung to my frame, its flowing skirt brushing against my legs. Lily had gone all out, styling my hair into elegant waves, expertly applying makeup that transformed my face in ways I never thought possible. My sharp jawline was softened with contouring, my lips painted a delicate shade of pink. The finishing touch was a pair of strappy heels that made me feel both powerful and utterly exposed. "You look stunning," Lily said, grinning as she stepped back to admire her handiwork. I swallowed, my throat dry. "This is insane. I look like a woman," she finished for me. "A beautiful one at that." A shiver ran down my spine. The strange part was she was right. For years, I had been terrified of someone discovering this part of me. And yet, standing here now, fully transformed, I felt something else. Something I couldn't quite name. Lily studied me, her expression shifting from amusement to something more thoughtful. "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" I opened my mouth to deny it, but no words came. She didn't press the question. Instead, she reached for a pearl necklace and fastened it around my neck. "You know, Jake, or should I say Jessica?" She smirked. "If you really don't want to do this, I won't force you. But I think you should. I think you need to." My hands trembled as I smoothed the fabric of the dress. Was she right? Before I could answer, my phone buzzed. It was Emma. My stomach dropped. She was on her way. The moment my phone buzzed, my breath caught in my throat. "Emma." I stared at the screen, my heart hammering. The notification glowed like an omen, warning me that my secret, this secret, was hanging by a thread. "Emma, hey babe. Just finished up early. I'll be there in 20. Miss you, red heart." Panic set in. 20 minutes. That was all the time I had to undo everything, to wipe the makeup off my face, to peel away the dress, to erase any trace of what I'd just done. Lily, standing behind me, peeked at the message and let out a low whistle. "Oof. You're cutting it close, little bro." "Little sis right now, apparently," I muttered under my breath, my voice wavering as I turned back to the mirror. The reflection still startled me. The girl in the mirror wasn't just some haphazard disguise. She was me, or at least some buried version of myself that I had never fully acknowledged. "Jake, you have a choice," Lily said, her voice softer now. "You can run and pretend this never happened, or you can face what you're feeling right now." I clenched my jaw. What I'm feeling is terrified. And thrilled. That was the part one couldn't say out loud. The feeling of the satin dress skimming my legs, the weight of the long curls brushing my shoulders, the light tickle of mascara on my lashes, it was intoxicating. But it was also dangerous. If Emma walked through that door and saw me like this, I couldn't let that happen. "I have to change," I said, already reaching for the zipper on the dress. But Lily grabbed my wrist. "Do you?" I froze. "Lily, just hear me out," she said quickly. "Emma's not going to be here for another 20 minutes. That's enough time to really see yourself. To see if this is something you actually hate, or if you're just scared of it." I swallowed hard. My fingers trembled on the zipper. Was I scared? Yes. But not just of being caught. I was scared of what I might discover about myself. Lily guided me to sit at her vanity, and I hesitated before obeying. The plush stool felt strange beneath me, too dainty, too feminine. Yet, as I met my own gaze in the mirror, I realized how easily I fit into this world, how naturally I belonged here. "Let's try something," Lily said, reaching for her makeup brushes. I gave her a wary glance. "I'm already wearing makeup. You're wearing my makeup. Let's make it yours." I should have said no. I should have wiped everything off and gotten the hell out of there. But I didn't. Instead, I let her work. She leaned in, her fingers gentle as she blended foundation into my skin. The sensation was oddly soothing, like an artist painting on a canvas. "You know," she mused as she brushed powder over my cheeks, "you're not bad at this." I scoffed. "Great. I have a hidden talent for being a bridesmaid." She smirked. "I mean, you're not as lost as I thought you'd be. Like, when I first put eyeliner on you, you didn't flinch. Most guys would." I stiffened. Maybe I'm just used to it. Her hands paused for a fraction of a second before continuing. She didn't press the question. Instead, she handed me a lipstick tube. "Here. You do this part." I hesitated. I had done this before, alone, in secret, under dim lighting where no one could see. But this was different. I uncapped the lipstick, the soft scent of vanilla filling my senses. My hands were steady as I applied the color, gliding the smooth pigment across my lips. When I pulled back, the girl in the mirror had changed again. She was bolder, brighter, more real. Lily grinned.
See?
That wasn't so hard. But it wasn't just easy. It felt right. And that terrified me all over again. Now, the real challenge, Lily said, pulling something out of her closet. My stomach dropped when I saw the shoes. High heels. You're joking, I said. Not at all, she replied, holding them out. If you're going to be my bridesmaid, you have to be able to walk in these. I sighed, but something in me, something foolish and reckless, made me take them from her. I slipped my feet into the soft leather, the arch forcing my weight forward. I wobbled immediately. Lily stifled a laugh. Okay, stand up. I did. Bad idea. The moment I put weight on the heels, I nearly toppled forward. Lily caught me.
Whoa.
Easy there, Bambi. This is impossible, I muttered. You just need practice. She grinned. Come on, take a few steps. I tried. It was awkward at first, stiff, unnatural. But after a few tentative steps, my body began to adjust. My movements became more fluid. And then something shifted. As I walked across the room, I felt graceful, feminine, powerful.
You're getting the hang of it, Lily said.
And look at you, you're smiling. I hadn't even realized. I was enjoying this. A little too much. That's when we heard the car door slam outside. My stomach flipped. Emma was here. Lily and I locked eyes, the same thought flashing between us. I was still dressed as a woman. Bathroom. Now, Lily hissed, shoving me toward the door. I practically tripped over my own feet as I stumbled inside, locking the door behind me just as I heard Emma's footsteps approaching the front door. My heart pounded. I pressed myself against the door, struggling to calm my breathing. This was bad. Really bad. From the other room, I heard Emma's voice. Hey, Lily. Is Jake here? His car's outside. Lily, to her credit, didn't miss a beat. Oh yeah, he's in the bathroom. Been in there for a while, actually. Maybe something he ate.
Smooth.
I barely had time to peel off the dress, yanking it over my head and shoving it behind the toilet. My fingers fumbled with the zipper, my breath coming in short gasps. Then I caught my reflection in the bathroom mirror. The makeup.
Crap.
Frantically, I grabbed a towel and turned on the sink, scrubbing at my face. The lipstick smeared. The mascara ran. But it wasn't coming off fast enough. Then, a knock at the door. Jake. Emma's voice. I froze. This was it. This was how I got caught. And I had no idea how I was going to explain myself. The bathroom was silent except for the pounding of my heart. My face was half smeared with makeup, my lipstick a mess, and the dress lay crumpled behind the toilet. Emma's voice came again, softer this time. Jake? Are you okay? I swallowed hard. Why, yeah? I croaked, too quickly. Just give me a sec. I could hear Lily in the other room, probably trying to act casual. Told you, Em. He's been in there for ages. Is he sick? Emma asked, concern creeping into her voice. I fumbled for the towel, my hands shaking as I scrubbed at my face, but the foundation clung stubbornly to my skin. The eyeliner smudged further, darkening the circles under my eyes instead of erasing them. Another knock. More insistent. I'm coming in, Emma said.
Panic seized my chest.
The door handle rattled. Lily, I hissed under my breath. Right on cue, my sister saved me. Give him a minute. Geez, would you want her boyfriend barging in while you're, doing your business? There was a pause. Emma let out a breath. Okay, I'll wait. But she didn't sound convinced. I had minutes. Maybe seconds. I reached for my hoodie, the one I'd been wearing before, and yanked it over my head. It hid most of my body, but my legs, my smooth, freshly shaved legs, were still exposed. My jeans were on the other side of the room. I lunged for them, and that's when my foot slipped. The high heel, forgotten in my scramble, rolled out from under me. My ankle twisted, and before I could catch myself, I collapsed against the counter, knocking over a bottle of perfume. It crashed to the floor. Silence. Then, Emma again. Jake? What was that?
Crap.
I scrambled to my feet, wincing. My ankle throbbed, but I barely noticed. I grabbed the jeans, hopping on one foot as I yanked them on, but the tight denim refused to cooperate. Then, the door clicked. Emma was opening it. Time slowed. The door creaked open an inch, and I did the only thing I could think of. I dove for the dress and shoved it behind my back. Emma's head peeked in. Babe, what's going on in here? My mouth opened, but no words came out. I must have looked insane. Face streaked with makeup, eyes wide with panic, one shoe on, one off, a towel draped over the counter in a feeble attempt to hide the evidence. Her brows furrowed. Are you okay? I forced a laugh, but it sounded hysterical.
Yeah, totally.
Just, my brain scrambled for an excuse. The, perfume. It, fell. Slipped on it. Stupid, right? Her eyes darted to the broken bottle on the floor, then to my face, and something in her expression changed. Her gaze sharpened, her lips pressed into a thin line.
She saw. I knew she saw.
The smudged eyeliner, the mascara clinging to my lashes, the faint, lingering trace of lipstick at the corner of my mouth. Her hand tightened on the doorknob. Jake, why is there makeup on your face? I couldn't breathe. I scrambled for an answer, any answer. Lily, I croaked. She thought it'd be funny. But even as I said it, I knew it wasn't convincing. Emma's expression didn't change. She stepped into the bathroom, closing the door behind her, blocking the exit. The walls felt like they were closing in. Jake, she said slowly, tell me the truth. I had two choices. I could lie. I could make up some ridiculous excuse, laugh it off, pretend none of this ever happened. Or I could tell her the real truth. The thought made my stomach twist. Emma was everything to me. Losing her was unthinkable. But hiding this? Hiding who I was? That was suffocating, too. I swallowed, my hands tightening around the dress behind my back. Emma, I said, barely above a whisper. She waited. I didn't mean for you to find out like this. I admitted. My voice cracked. The words refused to come. Emma took a slow step forward. Sometimes you what? I looked away. Sometimes I dress up. A breath of silence. Then, like a girl? The word hit like a thunderclap. I nodded. Emma exhaled. She didn't speak right away. Just studied me, as if seeing me for the first time. I braced myself for disgust. For anger. Instead, she surprised me. She reached out, her fingers brushing against my cheek, wiping away a streak of mascara. Then she asked, "Do you like it?" The question knocked the air from my lungs. I opened my mouth, closed it. Did I?
Yes. God, yes.
But I was too afraid to say it. Emma must have seen the answer in my eyes because she gave a small, knowing nod. Then she stepped back, arms crossed. Okay, she said. Tell me everything. I told her. Not everything. Not yet, but enough. Enough to see the tension in her shoulders ease. Enough to see the way her expression softened from confusion to understanding. When I finished, she let out a breath. So, that's why you've been acting weird lately, she murmured. I swallowed. Yeah. She was quiet for a moment. Then she shook her head, laughing under her breath. God, Jake, you're such an idiot. I flinched. She reached out and flicked my forehead. Not because of this, she clarified. Because you thought you had to hide it from me. I stared at her. Then, something inside me cracked. A laugh bubbled up. Half relief, half disbelief. So you're not mad? Emma rolled her eyes.
Mad? No. Surprised?
Yeah. I mean, finding out my boyfriend has a hidden stash of dresses and can apparently pull off a way better smoky eye than me? Yeah, that's a lot to process. I let out a breath, I hadn't realized I was holding. So, what now? I asked hesitantly. Emma smirked.
Now?
Now we see how you look in heels that actually match that dress. I blinked. And then I laughed. A real, genuine laugh. Because for the first time in my life, I wasn't hiding. Emma's smirk still lingered in the air, her words hanging between us like a challenge. Now we see how you look in heels that actually match that dress. A joke. A teasing remark. But I wasn't laughing anymore. Because the weight of what had just happened, what I had just admitted, was crashing down on me all at once. My hands trembled as I held onto the sink, staring at my reflection in the bathroom mirror. My face was still streaked with the remnants of makeup. My lips were faintly smudged with lipstick. My hair, tousled from all the scrambling, framed my face in a way that made me look different. Not like Jake. Not exactly like someone else, either. Something in between. I swallowed hard and turned to Emma, searching her face for any sign of regret. Would she still look at me the same way? Would she still want me the same way? Or was this the beginning of the end? Emma's eyes flickered over me. My bare legs, my one shoe, the dress clutched in my hands. Then she let out a breath. Okay, she said, nodding to herself, as if coming to a decision. We need to talk. The words hit me like a punch to the gut. We need to talk. The 4 worst words in any relationship. I forced a shaky smile. That sounds bad. Emma sighed, crossing her arms. It's not bad. It's just... She hesitated. I need to understand this. All of it. I clenched my jaw. I just told you. Yeah, but this is huge, Jake. You've been keeping this from me for who knows how long, and now you expect me to just, what? Act like nothing's changed. I shrank back. I don't expect anything. Then tell me what you want, she countered. I opened my mouth, then closed it. What did I want? I wanted Emma to still love me. I wanted to go back to the way things were. But at the same time, I didn't. I didn't want to hide anymore. Emma watched me struggle for an answer, then sighed. I have an idea. I looked at her warily. What kind of idea? A slow, knowing smile spread across her face. If this is something you really want, she said, then I think it's time you stop doing it in secret. A chill ran down my spine. What do you mean? Her grin widened. I mean my bridesmaids need another dress fitting tomorrow. I stiffened.
No.
Emma's eyes twinkled with mischief. Yes. No way. Why not? Because I gestured wildly to myself. Because I can't just show up as one of your bridesmaids. Emma raised an eyebrow. Why not? Because people will know. She shrugged. Not if we do it right. I stared at her in horror. You're serious? As a heart attack. I laughed, short, sharp, disbelieving. You're insane. And you're terrified, she countered. I froze. She stepped closer, her voice softening. Jake, you can keep hiding if you want. I won't force you to do anything. She tilted her head. But if this is really a part of you, then maybe it's time you stop pretending it isn't. My throat tightened. Her words shouldn't have affected me the way they did. But they did. She wasn't mocking me. She wasn't disgusted. She was challenging me, daring me, and the worst part? A small, traitorous part of me wanted to say yes. I didn't sleep that night. I tossed and turned, Emma's words haunting me. Maybe it's time you stop pretending. Was she right? Could I really do this? Would I even want to? Morning came too fast. The smell of coffee drifted through the apartment as I dragged myself out of bed, my stomach twisted in knots. Emma sat at the kitchen table, scrolling through her phone. When she saw me, she simply raised an eyebrow. Well, she asked. I swallowed hard. Well, what? You know what? I hesitated. The words burned in my throat. The fear clawed at my chest. But then, I heard my sister's voice in my head. You never take risks. And then Emma's. Maybe it's time you stop pretending. I took a shaky breath. Then, before I could lose my nerve, I blurted it out.
Fine.
I'll do it. Emma's lips parted in surprise.
Wait.
Seriously? I nodded stiffly. On one condition, I added quickly. She smirked. Oh, have conditions now. I folded my arms. You have to help me. Emma burst into laughter. Oh, babe, you're gonna regret that. And just like that, my fate was sealed. Hours later, I stood in front of the mirror. The transformation was perfect. The dress fit like it was made for me, hugging my waist, flowing just past my knees. The makeup was flawless, soft, feminine, natural enough that it didn't look like a costume. My hair was styled, my nails painted. And the heels, God, the heels. I barely recognized myself. Emma stood behind me, arms crossed, looking way too proud of herself. Not bad, she said. I'd date you. I groaned. Not helping. She laughed. You ready?
No.
Not even a little. But I nodded anyway. Emma grinned and grabbed her phone. What are you doing? I asked nervously. She winked. Just a little before photo. You know, for memories. I scowled. Emma?
Click.
The flash went off. And then, my phone buzzed. I frowned. Who's texting me? Emma's smirk disappeared. That's not me. My stomach dropped. Slowly, I picked up my phone. A new message. From an unknown number. You look beautiful, Jake. Or should I say, Jessica? See you at the wedding. My blood ran cold. Emma read over my shoulder. Her expression hardened. Who the hell is that? I had no idea. But one thing was certain. Someone knew. And they were watching.